Hello YouTube. It is D the Herbalist here, and I'm back with another video. And although it looks like my first video, I promise you that it's not. I actually deleted 3 whole videos because the perfectionist in me jumped out and I had to get rid of the perfectionist. And now I'm here because the message was not getting out because I was focused on perfection, deleting videos and things like that. So without further ado, I want to talk to you today about how to manifest your reality, because over the course of this month, I've been so inspired by the conversations that I've had with people. And it seems right now that a lot of people are in a period of transition. They're considering, what do I actually want my life to look like versus what are the things that I want to be completely done with? And I know that manifestation is such a buzzword, and some of you might be like over the subject, but I don't really think that that would be you in this case because you're at this video, you're watching this video. But I do just want to point out, I know that it's a buzzword. I know that it's been really hammered, but trust me on this, I've been on this journey since I was 12, meditating, visualizing, and using things like affirmations. And I do believe in those things, but I also believe that there is some work to be done in order to actually manifest and make your dreams a reality. So in this video, that's what I'll be sharing with you, some tips that I've used to make my dreams a reality. I look up at my life now and I'm like, wow, 5 years ago, I wrote this down on a piece of paper. 10 years ago, I wrote this down and I'm looking at it now. So I hope that you can also get there with the help of this video and any other resources that you have, because we were meant to prosper. We were meant to prosper. That is not a right. That is not a privilege. It's a right. Yeah, I had that confused real quick. So anyway, if you do like this video, make sure that you like the video and subscribe to the channel, because I know that you've already heard it does wonders for the channel. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first thing that I want to talk about or address is just the where we are kind of in the world today, where a lot of people are talking about manifestation and how to manifest your reality. And I just want to point out that, like I said, it's been since I was 12 that I've been doing things like this, working with these principles. And some of the people and authors and lecturers that I had listened to, the math wasn't mathing. The math wasn't mathing. It wasn't as simple as I'm going to think about this 24/7. And then in a year, I should have accomplished my goals. Like my life should look different in a year if I just think about this, or if I just write it down on a piece of paper and do nothing else. It's not true. It's not true. It's false. It's false. Selling you a dream. So that is the first point that I want to make. And then with that disclaimer, I want to go into how manifestation even works, right? So manifestation is the idea that you can manifest your reality at its simplest. That's what it entails. Now there are many tools to achieve this, or methods of manifesting, I should say. And in the first part, I want to talk about what has helped me, right? So like I said, 12 years old, I'm getting into all of these things, and people say a lot of things. They definitely say a lot of things, and they promise you a lot of things, and they make guarantees that they really can't keep. And that's because we are individual people, right? We have our own experiences. We make our own life choices and our own decisions. And so our lives look different from our neighbors, from our siblings, from everyone, because we're individuals. So what works for one is not going to work for everyone in the same way that it works. But the principles are pretty much the same. You focus on what it is that you want. Now, there is a connection. So actually, let me go into neuroplasticity, right? Neuroplasticity is a term that refers to how your brain is wired. And it's like, brain neurons, brain cells neurons that wire together fire together. So we're constantly making these connections by way of what we're thinking about. And that can go one or two ways. We could be thinking about something because we just experienced it, or we haven't experienced it, but we're thinking about it because maybe we have had a similar experience and we're recalling that and bringing it into our lives today. But it still stands. That part of it is not going to change. What you think about does influence your reality because your thoughts literally have they produce a biochemical response in your body. So what I think about is going to influence how I feel, and how I feel is going to influence how I act, and how I act is going to influence how I am patterning. What are my patterns? What are my behaviors? How do I behave? All of those things will be influenced. So I just want to break down the first part of manifestation is really getting your thoughts in order. And in order to do that, what it looked like for me was getting silent, getting still, drowning out the chaos and the clutter and the expectations of people, or what I thought were expectations of people sometimes, because we do a good job of fooling ourselves sometimes, or putting things on other people that don't belong with them. So really getting still, finding silence, going out into nature. I've always been a nature person, and that has helped me because I used to meditate in nature. I used to visualize in nature. Peace, serenity, calm. I'm all about those things. But for you, you have to find what works for you. What works for you to relax, to de-stress, to get your mind still. For some people, it's yoga. For some people, it's running. That's also me. Both of those are me. People have a lot of different methods, but the point here is to figure out how to be still. Be still. Because once you're still, thoughts will come, and you'll figure out how to navigate those thoughts. Which thoughts do I want to keep? Which ones do I want to reflect on more, dive deeper into? Which ones do I need to let go of? And it's a practice. It's not going to happen overnight. But the first thing that you need to do is evaluate your own life. Evaluate your own life. Sit and be still doing that. Don't do it from a place of chaos. Do it from a place of peace and stillness. So that's the first way that we begin to manifest our reality. And then the second part of manifestation that has worked for me is writing. There is also a connection between what you write, because you're already thinking about what you're writing, and we already covered that thoughts are powerful. So writing, putting those thoughts on paper is extremely powerful. That is an act in and of itself. So remember how I said a lot of people say a lot of things and they make guarantees and promises? Some of the things that I see a lot of people missing out on when they try to teach people about manifesting is the action part of it. There's an action element. So writing is one of those actions. So helpful, because now your thoughts are flowing and aligned with your energy, and your actions are aligned with your thoughts. And then there's the next step. And for me, that next step looked like, okay, what do I see on this paper? Does that still match what I have in my head? What do I have on this piece of paper, and what am I going to do about it? What am I going to do about it? You'll give that some thought, but really it's visualizing. Let's visualize what I said that I wanted. What would it look like if I had these things? If I was this person, how would I show up? How would I behave? If this is the life that I want, if this is who I want to become, what does that look like? And have it going in your mind whenever you have if you're having a chaotic day. For me, sometimes I would be in the worst positions of my life, literally, and be like, you know what? I have the mental capacity and the mental strength and endurance for this fight, because this is mental and sometimes it's spiritual, but I know what it is that I want, because I know what my purpose is. I know what my purpose is. And if you haven't gotten there, then maybe that should be your first step. But that is actually connected to the first step of figuring out what it is that you want when you are still and at peace. coming from a place of stillness and peace. So visualization is the next step of that. You're getting those brain cells to fire and wire together. So this is actually affecting your biochemistry because, again, thoughts affect and influence your biochemistry. And then lastly, I just said lastly, I actually meant next. Next is the action part of it. What are you going to do about what it is that you want? What are you going to do about who it is that you want to become? Who do you want to become, and how does that person act? What do they do in their daily lives? Even if you can do a small portion of what, okay, so let's say I want to be a farmer. Okay, well, I'll start sowing some seeds. I'll start growing my own food. I'll start small, but it's going to lead somewhere because you want to have repeatable actions during this step. You want to be in action. So it's not enough to just be thinking or just to be writing or just to be visualizing. Now let's go into action. And this is the part that a lot of people miss in the manifestation process, is thinking, okay, well, I'll just think about it, I'll just write about it, and things will just be. No, you have to put in the work. You have to actually show up as the person that you are looking to become. Because for everything that you want to do, there's a person that does it. Now, I don't know everything that you want to do, but that's an assumption, okay? But the point that I'm making here is that you can find people that are out there doing the things or similar things that you want to do. It might work to emulate those people. Yes, it might, if you don't have any role models or anything to follow, any instructions. If you don't have a blueprint, someone's life, someone else's life can be the blueprint to how you get done what you need to get done or what you want to get done. And then another part for me was really, because again, I already covered the perfectionist element. So sometimes I would be frustrated with the results that I was getting. I didn't think that I was getting these results quick enough. And I would stop doing what I was doing because I'm like, all right, I've done this a few times and that should automatically make me whatever it was that I was looking to accomplish, right? But things take time, things take consistency, and things take persistence. You have to be persistent. So if it's just, say, I want to be a farmer, we're going back to that example mostly because I'm a farmer and that's really relatable to me. But starting small, okay, I don't need to buy a 10-acre farm if I just want to start out farming. I could be farming on my front porch. I can be farming on my back porch. And that's kind of what I did. I was living in an environment that was not a farmer's environment. There wasn't a lot of space for one. It was a very urban environment, but I did have this little there was a slab of concrete, and then around the perimeter of that slab was some space that I could use for growing some crops, right? And that's what I started doing. I started growing some flowers. I made the backyard really, really pretty, and I started there. That's how it started for me. So start small, take small, actionable, and repeatable steps. Small, repeatable actions. Take those consistently. Do it consistently because this will make it become a part of who you are. Now you are this person. You are actively doing it. So you're firing here. These are getting to work. Your body is in motion. Your body is in motion. You are feeling the way that you would feel if you had accomplished what you are setting out to accomplish. On a small scale, it might be, but that's repeatable. That's scalable. It's scalable to do it that way. So do not miss that part. The action part of it is very important. We can't just sit and think about what it is that we want to do and not actually be doing anything. We need to be in the work. Lastly, something that has worked for me is the affirmations part, right? So I am, powerful statements. Many people have covered this subject before, but if we think about our thoughts and then our words, what we speak, we have to have thought what people say, I just said it. Sometimes that's true, but usually when you're formulating your sentences, you're thinking about what you're saying and you're thinking about what you're going to say. All of that is powerful. All of that is powerful. You do not need a magic pill. You don't need a magic course to teach you how to do these things because they're inherently in you. You are a creator by nature, by design. You are inherently a creator. So, what are you creating with your words? What are you creating with your thoughts? And then, what are you creating with your actions? So, affirming those things, specifically in a mirror, has been really nice for me because I'm one of those people that I love mirrors. I love mirrors, but I love mirrors even more now because I get to say I am in a mirror and be looking at in my own eyes while I repeat these words. It's one thing to walk down the street and say I am this, I am this, I am this, but if you can actually see yourself saying it, you can see yourself doing it. You can see yourself becoming it, being it. And that's really what it's about. How do you be? Who do you be? What do you be? That is the secret of manifestation. How to manifest your reality. It's really not something that you need to spend $1,000 on a course for. I said 1,000, probably more like 6, 10,000 is like a good going rate out there. But you don't need to spend a lot of money to do this. Just understand that you are naturally a creator. You create every day, every single day. What you think, what you say, what you do, you're creating. You're in creation mode. So what are you creating? You have that power. You don't need to go find it elsewhere outside of you. You have it. So hone in on it. And the first step, like I said, evaluate, reflect, get still, meditate, if that's what you want to call it. Meditate, silence your mind, calm your mind, and figure out, okay, what resonates? Where do I stand? Where are my feelings around this? What is it that I actually want to accomplish here, right? And then you get to work. You repeat. Second step is writing these things out. Now that you have your ideas, write it out. Now that you have it on paper, get to work, get into action. And the whole wow, I said affirmations last, but the whole wow, this is important. You're affirming, you're speaking and breathing life into yourself as you do these practices. So I hope that helps you. It has been a wonderful journey for me. I have been so motivated and inspired by the people that I've come across literally in just a month. And some of them have helped me see my own journey for what it is and be like, okay, well, I did accomplish this. And what did I even do? Which actually brings me to my actual last point, which is celebrate your small wins. Celebrate your small wins. Figure out what it is that you like to do in celebration of yourself. And if you don't celebrate yourself, find some practices, whether it's a self-care practice, whether it's a nice bubble bath. I love me an Epsom salt bath. I love me a bubble bath too. It is kind of hard to find some natural products that, do the bubbling like I like it, but self-care, self-made, this is the only vehicle that you have to move throughout this life with. This life, the only one. So take care of it, whether it's self-care or it could be going out and doing other things, right? But find out how you would love to celebrate yourself because that's you showing up for yourself. That's you affirming that you are worthy of what it is that you're drawing to yourself. So celebrate those small wins. You don't need to post them on social media. You don't need to share them with everybody. They are for you. They are for you. Because you have to fill your cup and you serve from your overflow. Or as Lisa Nichols says, you serve from your saucer. And that part is very important. We're not taught how to do these things. So that's why I'm sharing it with you in hopes that you will have some amazing results in your life. You will manifest the reality that you want as long as it's not harming anyone or anything. You got this. Peace, love, and prosperity to you.